welcome to Nitah Crochets. My name is Nitah, and today we are going to be learning how to make a very simple mesh skirt, and later on most likely to make a dress out of it. So after you watch this video, please look out for the next video, because in that video is where I'm going to be sharing how to make the whole very beautiful tube dress that is mesh. Okay, so to start with, I'm going to be working with Robin 100% acrylic. It's 100 grams, and this is size 4 yarn. So I'm going to be working with a 6mm hook, because I want to be in position to have my mesh skirt giving me a very good stretch, because I don't want to always work very big pieces. I want to work a piece that looks small but can stretch out to fit someone. After that, you'll need scissors and a darning needle to weave in your ends. So let's get started. I know you all are very familiar with skirts, more so the mesh skirts, but then I tried to recreate something out of the very same stitch and see that there is more and more, a lot more we can do with the very same stitch, but then just changing a few things about it to make it look like it is really new. It's going to be mesh, but it looks more like honeycomb. So start off with a knot. I have made a tutorial about a mesh skirt beach cover up that is long. This is going to be short with a very good hem, and later you'll learn how to make the whole dress that is more like a mesh tube dress that one can just slide in and it fits perfectly. So we are going to start off with 8 chains. 1 2 3 4 8. Okay, yarn over. Into the third chain stitch from the hook, you work a half double crochet, and then work a half double crochet into the next chain stitches until you come to the end of it. You must have 6 of them, 6 stitches. Okay, and now here, chain 2, turn your work. Work 1 double crochet into every stitch. One double crochet into every stitch until you come to the end of your row. I got a beginner ask me how I work my waistbands. This is how I do work them. So you can just pick this knowledge and feed it into whatever you are trying to make at the time. So chain 2 and then turn your work. Yarn over, work a half double crochet into the very first stitch from the hook, and then work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until you come to the end of your row. Chain 2, turn your work, work 1 double crochet into every stitch. Okay, chain 2, turn your work, work 1 half double crochet into every stitch. See what we have. So this is quite it. See how it looks like? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So you are just going to repeat this. If you see this clearly, but this is how it is. Okay, yeah, so this is how it is, and you're just going to repeat this. 1 half double crochet row, and then 1 double crochet row, 1 half double crochet row, and then 1 double crochet row. This is how it looks like on the top, and this is how it looks like on the back, the inside. So just make this. Please make sure, keep track of the stitches. There must be 6 of them. If you want a larger band, you can just work up to like 8. If you make 10, it's going to be too large. So just work like maximally 8. If you're working for a size large, that would be great. You work 8 of them, so when you're starting, your foundation chains should be 10, so that you work 8 stitches. If you're a larger person, you need a bigger waistband to match with the size of the whole piece. Okay, so make this until you have the inches for your waistline. Okay, please do not follow the inches for your hips. I repeat, inches for your waistline. Reason, I understand it's going to go all the way through your hips, yes I know, or all the way through your shoulders, down your shoulders, I know that, but then when you make it to fit your waist, remember I am working with a 6mm hook. That's for that reason, the stretch. Okay, it will be in position to stretch out to meet the hip size. So make this to your waist size. Inches for your waistline is what you should follow. And also the reason as to why I say inches for your waistline is because I'm going to be working an increase around the hips. So if you work your waistband to fit your hips, and we are making an increase around the hips to fit the hips, then you're probably going to come up with something super huge. Okay, so just follow your waistline and your waistline inches, and then when I get back, I'm going to show you what to do. So I have finished my waistband. I'm just working a very small skirt because I already have part of my skirt complete. So let me show you with this, and then I'll get back to the whole piece and show you where I stopped. So once you have your waistband complete, you are going to turn it in out, and now get right here, and you are going to stitch this together with a single crochet stitch. So we go like that. Make sure you are getting into both sides like that. Okay, so we have finished to stitch this together, and we shall turn it in out like that. See where we joined it from, right there. And now this is what we have. So to start off, this is what you will do. You will chain 1 into this double crochet post. You'll work 2 single crochets. Okay, now into the half double crochet post, still you work 2 single crochets. Okay, see that I'm putting 1 in the middle of the half double crochet post and into the joint of the joint between that gets the double crochet and half double crochet together. Or if you're not really understanding what I'm trying to do, is you can just put it just right here, 2 single crochets into the half double crochet post that you see, like that, until you come to the end of it. So here it's the half double crochet post, still you put 2 single crochets. Okay, so literally into the half double crochet post you work 2 single crochets, and into the double crochet post still you work 2 single crochets. Okay, so this is what you are going to do, and this is more like to work the edge of our skirt, our waistband, before we can start the body of the skirt. Okay, so just go on and on, 2 single crochets into every half double crochet and double crochet post that you see, until you come to the end of it. And while at the end, you'll work a slip stitch to join the 2 ends together. Please make sure you're working 2 single crochets into every post. So here we go. When you come to the end, you will work a slip stitch like that. See what we have. So now you're going to get your yarn, and now you're going to chain 4. Like I always say, The 3 chains act as a double crochet, and the 1 chain is the chain gap that we are going to be creating for the mesh. So here you are going to skip this stitch, and then into the next you work a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, into the next you work a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, into the next you work a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, into the next you work a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, into the next you work a double crochet, and this is going to go on and on. Okay, if you followed what I said, working 2 single crochets into every post, you're definitely going to have something that really matches with the stitches that you worked on the waistband. So chain 1, you skip 1, and into the next you work a double crochet, and then chain 1. As you can see, we have come to the end. So into the 3rd chain stitch of the 4, we shall work a slip stitch. Now you can see that we haven't worked any increases, and this is the time to start working an increase. Okay, you are going to turn your work and then work a slip stitch into the chain 1 space, a slip stitch please, and chain 4. Okay, now first count the gaps that you have, the chain gaps you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So there are 18. 18 divided by 2 is it 9? Yeah. So we have 9 chain gaps to work before we work an increase on 1 hip. And as you can see, this is where I stitched these 2 together. Okay, so I want this to be in the middle of my back. Okay, like at the back, not on the sides. So instead of counting 9, because if I count 9, I am going to be around here. Okay, so that means this is going to be pushed to the sides, and I want it to the back. So I'm going to divide 9 by 2 again. Okay, so I'll get 4.5. That means I'm going to work 4 chain gaps, and into the 5th, that's where I'm going to work an increase. I hope you guys get me. I am trying to find ways, like I'm devising ways to have this stay in the middle of my back when I'm wearing it. This joint, I don't want it on the sides. Okay, I want it at the back. So I will divide 9 to get that digit that will let me have an increase right here, not here. Okay, so please turn your work always, because I want my end point to be straight, not to be like slanted. So here I already chained 4, so I'm going to work a double crochet into the next chain gap, chain 1, work a double crochet into the next. Remember, we are working them into the chain gap. That's why I told you this stitch will look like a honeycomb, but it's mesh. It's just that the fact that we are working the double crochets into the chain gap, yeah, that's what gets us to that. But if you want to also manipulate the stitch and work a honeycomb, you can just work 2 chains instead of 1, like chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. You'll have the result. So a chain 1, into the next chain gap you work a double crochet. So these are 3 gaps we have worked so far. Chain 1, into the next you work a double crochet. So those are 4 gaps, and then chain 1, into the next you work a double crochet. And now here we are working our first increase for the hip. So you chain 1 and work a double crochet into the very same stitch. Okay, chain 1, work a double crochet into the next chain gap, chain 1, that's 1, work a double crochet into the next. Those are 2. Remember, I need 9 to work my left hip. Double crochet, those are 3. Chain 1, a double crochet, those are 4. Chain 1, a double crochet, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So into the 9th, okay, we chain 1 again and work a double crochet in the very same stitch. Okay, now here you're just going to continue normally until you come to the end of your row. Now as you can see, we worked a slip stitch and got this to be in the middle of the chain gap. So here we shall chain 1 and work a slip stitch into the 3rd chain stitch from the hook. Sorry, the 3rd chain stitch of the 4 that we worked. Okay, so once again you'll turn your work and work a slip stitch into the chain gap, okay, like that. Now chain 4, and again I'm going to work an increase once again. So I'm going to work a double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, work a double crochet into the chain gap, okay, chain 1, work a double crochet in the chain gap, chain 1. As you can see, we have reached the V stitch, like the increase that we made. So into the V stitch right there, we are going to work a double crochet and then chain 1 and work a double crochet in the very same stitch. So we have worked our 2nd increase. All right, so now this is what you're going to do for the other end as well. You chain 1, and when you meet that increase, okay, you are just going to follow the very same thing that we have done for this increase. So let me let you work that on your own, okay, and once I come back I'll show you how to work your next row, and then just elaborate the other row, and I'll let you work the rest on your own. Okay, so just complete this and work an increase right here where you worked an increase right here. I'm working with black, so it's very tricky to show you what I'm trying to do. So just do that and come back here and work an increase right here, okay, and complete your work. Then I can show you how to work the next row. So I have finished my row, and now I'm going to turn my work and work a slip stitch like that. Chain 4, into the next chain gap you'll work a double crochet, chain 1, work a double crochet in the next chain gap, chain 1, work a double crochet into the next chain gap, chain 1, work a double crochet in the next, chain 1, work a double crochet into the next, chain 1, work a double crochet into the next. As you can see now, this is where we worked an increase, and for this row we are just working a normal row without any increases. So you're just going to go on and on like this, and when you count your chain gaps you'll find that there is an increase. If you have watched my mesh beach cover up skirt, the long skirt before, if you have watched the tutorial before, you already know what to do. I'm just trying to change this a little bit and show you how to work it if you are working a short skirt. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, you're just going to go on and on like this normal row. Okay, and now for the next row, let me just get my piece and show you, just explain to you how I worked it, and then we can now get to working the hem of the skirt. So this is my piece, and this is how it looks like. Okay, and when I get to the sides right here, you can see that I worked an increase right there. You see, from my first row it was normal, and then I worked an increase right here. Okay, and worked one normal row without an increase, and then I worked an increase right there. Okay, now from there I just worked normal rows. So that's what I'm trying to mean is Here you have your row of increase, okay, your 2 rows of increase, and then now you're going to work a normal row. Now after that you're still going to work an increase. How to work an increase I have showed you. Please count your chain gaps and then get to know where to place an increase, or if you clearly can see your work, you can just place it either into this stitch or right here, okay, for the next row. So you work 2 rows of an increase. And if you're confident enough that you have the stretch for your hips that you want, please do not over increase, because at the end of the day we are working with a 6mm hook, and what it does is it gives a very good stretch, so you should keep that in mind. I advise you either work an increase twice for sizes small or medium, and if you're working for a size large, I advise you work that increase thrice. Okay, where need be and someone has very large hips and a very small waist, that's when you can go all the way to 4 times of an increase. Okay, but I worked 2 times of an increase, which brings me to 4 rows of an increase, like twice, 2 rows of an increase and 2 rows of an increase. That's why I say it's twice. Now from there you're going to work a normal row. Normal rows is where we have no increase, and as you can see that was the last increase. So from there you're going to work normal rows. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. I've worked 11 normal rows after the increases that I made, so you can work those following what you actually want for the length of your skirt. Now from here, what we are going to do, we are going to chain 5. I already have 1 chain, so we chain 4 more. Now we have 5 chains. I'll just add 1 more to start my row. Now here into the second chain stitch from the hook, you work a single crochet and then work a single crochet into every chain stitch. Until you come to the end. As you can see, it's into this stitch, so I'm going to work a single slip stitch into the chain gap like that. Okay, now work a slip stitch into this next stitch, and that's the double crochet stitch. So I work a slip stitch, turn my work 1 single crochet into the first stitch on this row where I've worked my chain. So literally I'm just trying to work my hem. Please make sure you have 5 of them, like 5 stitches. Chain 1, turn your work 1 single crochet into every stitch on the row like that. Now into the chain gap you work a slip stitch, like that, and into the double crochet stitch you work a slip stitch again, and then turn your work 1 single crochet into every stitch that you have, like that. Chain 1, turn your work 1 single crochet into every stitch, I've done this before in my rib stitch buttoned crop top, so you can also check that out and have a view of what I am particularly doing here, so you don't confuse what I am trying to do. I am just working a hem, so I have a very neat and well-ended beach mesh mini skirt. So like we were doing, you work a slip stitch into this chain gap, and a slip stitch into the double crochet stitch. Okay, turn your work a single crochet into this hem that we are trying to create. Please make sure you end up with 5 single crochets when you work that. Chain 1, turn your work. Now bring it all the way back to the skirt. So literally we are just trying to attach this, work this as we attach it to the skirt. Okay, very, very simple, rather than working it separately and then attaching it. Here you just know you're working it all once and you're getting it all done. So here you work a slip stitch into the chain gap, and then slip stitch into the double crochet post, and just repeat the whole process all over. You see what we have? So let me just go all the way around until I get back here, and then join the two like I joined the waistband. So once you have all this complete, you have your skirt, and you will just add a drawstring right here to like give it that sort of like beauty. In my next tutorial, I'm going to be working a tube dress on top of this skirt, so you all watch out for it. This has been very, very simple, and most importantly, I'm just teaching you all how to work the hem of your skirts so you don't leave them just like this, like just hanging. More so if you're working mini skirts, you know, everyone loves that mini skirt that has a very, very good ending, and this kind of hem will do you that. So thank you for watching. Let me see you in my next tutorial about the tube dress of this very, very exact piece. Goodbye.